Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back with the second part of my fears for mixed race people. As I jokingly call us mutts. I feel like because I am a mutt myself, I can say that kind of. But yeah, I suppose I don't know if someone who was monoracial or a pure breed said it, if I would find it offensive. It probably depends on the context and the tone of voice that they use it to say it or whatever. But anyway, I'm back here, as I say, with part two. I was thinking to do some videos on AC Milan, possibly even Roma and things like that. But I think due to the fact that I oversleep, I sleep I sleep too much basically throughout the day, um, and whatever, procrastinate and whatnot. I didn't really get around to. But anyway, here are some of my fears for the mixed race community, mixed race individuals, and the mixed race community. Part two, obviously. And as ever, I'd love to know what you think. Hopefully, it won't be too harsh, but constructive criticism is always welcome. Um, and just in case you think these videos are a bit negative, next week I'm hoping to do kind of the opposite next Monday. So, in other words, I think it's the 20th next Monday, and I'm hoping to do my dreams for mixed race people. So, if not next Monday, the Monday after, which is 27th, maybe on the 27th, I don't know. Ideally, I would do it on the 29th because my birthday is on the 29th of August, so it's like kind of exactly 3 months after. But anyway, I'm going to try and stop waffling. As I say, I'm focusing on the mixed race community because it's a Monday as a mixed race person and that kind of thing. So here goes. So these are ideas number 11, or fears number 11 to 20 in this case. So here goes. So number 11, I fear mixed race people, much as I jokingly call it, as I say, will not. I wouldn't be able to. I won't be able to change. Not that I want to forcibly change, but as I said in part one, all these things are to be encouraged and endorsed, if you like, but not forced. That was a coincidence that rhymed, but I'm not. I don't wish to force any of these rules. They're not really rules; they're just guidance. It's guidance in the plural. But I fear that let's say some mixed race people like join militaries, gangs, terrorism, or anything with or things with violence or breaking the law, um, which I hope to discourage, but I suppose would be their choice or is their choice. I'd say I don't want people to join any of those things, or for instance anything that would benefit imperialism or anything like that. But obviously, if some mixed race people want to do those things, they're not what I personally endorse or encourage. And I'd love to discourage those things, but I fear that some mixed race people probably won't change their lives or won't be able to turn their lives around. If I'm talking about from a negative point of view, probably my diet that makes me so tired all the time. But I know I'm terrible, aren't I? But with my diet and stuff like that. But anyway, I would say I fear like mixed race people who are involved in law breaking or whatever won't change or that kind of thing. But I suppose even if we could change one or two lives, it would be good. So I suppose I'm trying to, because it's the 13th, I'm trying to focus a bit more on my fears or negatives or nightmare version. Anyhow, moving on, number 12, I fear that we won't be able to mentor or be good role models for each other and help each other to be empowered. I suppose my fears are the opposite to what I hope for or what I hope to talk in my dream version. I wanted to get the negatives out of the way first so I can save the best till last, and that's why I'm doing it in this order. So like the fears first, or the nightmare version, or negatives. I suppose I could have said nightmares even instead of fears, but basically the negative version. But yeah, so I fear that we won't be motivated and encouraged, and we won't be able to be good mentors or role models for each other. I know some people might say if I want to be a good role model for fellow mutts, I shouldn't drink too much tea, but I should drink more healthy stuff, like eat more healthily, drink more water, and have more veg and fruit and things like that. But I suppose I am a creature of habit. So another thing I fear is not being able to put my ideas into action, or again, much not being able to put our ideas into action and get projects started, learn things, and achieve our potential and that kind of thing. Number 13, I fear making cringe-worthy videos, perhaps, but I should be used to it by now. But I suppose I have lots of fears, like about hell or things like that, personally, or about wars, like the biblical teachings about wars and rumors of wars, or as I said in part one, like God not being on our side, or things like that. So those are more of my fears. Yeah, I say wars, rumors of wars, natural disasters, not being able to prevent wars. And again, I fear Mutts joining militaries, gangs, terrorism, or anything with violence, as I say, or things like that. I just want to say something, a bit of a side note that's not basically fear. It's not based on fear, but it's sort of a selfish thing, as I often think of like number 13 as being a sort of devil's number or satanic number. Although apparently it's 3 a.m. in the morning, which is supposed to be the devil's hour or something like that. But I think of it like 13 as a biblical significant. Although I'm not that religious, I often say, but I kind of am religious more out of fear rather than hope, as I often say. But a lot of time it doesn't feel like God is loving, or if he was, I think he should make everyone happy. So that's another fear I have, that he won't do that. But anyway, from basically getting to the point, from the selfish point of view, I dream that we would benefit AC Milan and AS Roma and Italian teams generally. So it's a sort of selfish sort of thing. I think of like the reason why I mention things about selfishness or greed or things like that is for point number 13 is a lot of time is because the number 13 is something that I see like those are traits that I associate with like Satan or Satanism, even like not saying I want to be a Satanist, but those are sort of traits that I associate with number 13, because I think it's like 12 witches and the 13th one is the devil. That's why I think of 13 as unlucky. Obviously most, I suppose, quote unquote normal people see 13 it only being Friday the 13th, but I say on like every 13th, I think of a negative sort of thing, like whether it's a Wednesday or obviously a Monday as it is today, or whatnot, or tonight. But yeah, I thought I'd included something selfish, like how I dream for us to benefit Italian teams like AC Milan, even Inter Milan, even though they're rivals, the Derby della Modernina, how I pronounce it, how I'd love to promote that sort of thing, promote Serie A and Italian football generally, and Roma and whatnot. Anyway, moving on, number 14, I fear us not solving problems, I'll say, like wars, natural disasters and other things. Number 15, I fear us not being able to focus on our goals and work together as a community and unite. Again, I suppose it's the opposite to what my dream vision for mixed race people would be, or is. Number 16, I'll say my own personal fears. One of them is like, I think they call it bombing, as in a comedian, when a comedian goes on stage and they try and tell jokes, and then obviously, as they do, which is a funny thing for a comedian to do. But on a serious note, like if they, I think they say it would be, someone was saying it would be embarrassing to go on stage and just, it must be one of the most biggest fears for a comedian is to bomb on stage, and that's like where people don't laugh at your jokes and stuff like that. So I do worry if people enjoy my videos, and I worry whether we'll be able to support each other on YouTube or support each other's content or be able to make a living. I feel like the economy and mixed race people, as I say, I don't want us to turn to crime. If I could help it, I wouldn't want us to be on benefits either, even though I'm on benefits myself, to be honest. And I wouldn't want us to join terrorism, militaries, gangs, or anything like that. I'd love for us to make our money legally and without taking other people's freedom away. So it's a bit of a dilemma being on benefits as a libertarian. And I again, as I mentioned in part one, I fear us being communists or socialists. Not that I have anything. I'm sure they have a good heart, but I just don't believe that it should be done by force. I want to give everyone a choice. I wouldn't want us to rule the world. I'd rather us liberate the world. So I suppose my fear would be for us to rule the world in a way where we become dictators or stuff like that, which I can't really imagine. But if I'm talking about real nightmares, that would be a nightmare scenario. I suppose it wouldn't be the worst nightmare, but it would be a nightmare scenario. Number 17, I suppose with my paranoia, I don't know if I have schizophrenia, but I do have a lot of paranoia. I know they're sort of linked, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure what the connection is. I know some people say like paranoid, schizophrenic or whatever, but maybe I am schizophrenic without realizing. But yeah, I have a lot of imaginations of things going wrong and negative things happening. Sometimes like earlier I heard a lot of loud noises, and I was wondering if that's like thunder or it was actually fireworks. Or if I see a light in the sky, I think it's lightning. A bit panicky, unless I know it's a firework, say for instance, or whatever. Um, so yeah, I'm a bit chicken when it comes to things like fireworks and stuff like that. I have a lot of other phobias. But anyway, I'm going to move on because that's quite. I don't want to be embarrassing. I'll say or too cringeworthy or whatever, both. Too cringeworthy / embarrassing or whatever. Number 18. I fear that we'll be negative, or well, I suppose I can be quite very pessimistic myself. But I fear we won't make the world a better place, or as I say, we won't become pacifists, conscientious objectors, peacemakers, and things like that. I fear like, as I say, I know I mentioned this point a few times, but I fear it was like being in militaries, joining gang terrorism, violence, anything like being part of wars that happen around the world, or mixed race people being arrogant, or things like that. And I suppose in every community, you're probably going to, or every group, or whatever, you're going to have every group and stroke or community is going to have people who are arrogant or whatever. So part of me does think that my mad dreams of turning all mixed race people into pacifists, conscientious objectors, and down to earth people, but being proud, but not in an arrogant way. My fear is that's like a pipe dream. Again, putting them into practice and things like that, and trying to be positive about those kind of things. Number 19, again, I fear not being able to encourage my fellow Mutts to support, say, Indigenous Asians in software development and stuff like that. And number 20, also in STEM and things like that. And again, not being able to put my ideas into practice. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I did have a few more things I wanted to do tonight, but I think I'm going to run out of time. But I hope you look out for parts 3 and 4. And I know these are a bit negative. This is a negative version, as I say. I'm hoping to be much more positive, hopefully next week, if not the week after. Anyway, I'm out. Peace and love.